welcome to Mercy Health Stepping Out Program, live yoga here in Louisville at the Camel Center. My name is Michelle, and thank you so much for joining me. I always appreciate seeing all of you guys. We'll start with our comfortable seat and just finding our breath and listening to the sound as it comes in and out. Quieting our minds with every single breath. So you can bring your awareness into this moment, here and now. Let's bring our left hand up to our heart, our right hand to our belly, just below the belly button. And continue with your breath. See if you can keep that left hand on the heart still, so we're not breathing with the chest at all. Just breathe with the belly. As we inhale, expand. As we exhale, contract, pull that stomach in. Pressing both palms together at our heart center. Let our chin sink to our chest. And we'll set our intention for our practice today. Think about what you want to get out of your time here on your mat. Lifting our heads, releasing our hands back down to our knees. We'll begin with the circling of our rib cage. Going nice and slow so that you can get into all of the corners here. Make sure that we really feel our hips. Start paying attention to your body. See where you need a little bit more time. Movement. As we go in the opposite direction, let's start adding our breath. And we'll think of our cat-cow. As we come to the back, that's when we're exhaling, tucking everything in, really pulling the belly in. And as we come to the front, that's your inhale. So arching forward, opening that chest, inhaling really big. And let's get into our breathing fully here with our seated cat-cow. So in our stillness at the center, as we inhale, we'll go into our cow. So arch that back, open the chest, maybe even look up a little bit. And then as we exhale, tuck everything in, pushing all that air out. Inhale up. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. Exhale. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to add our arms as we inhale up. Exhale down. As we exhale, we're going to bring our hands back behind us. Let the fingertips come towards the front of the mat and open up the chest as we lean into the hands. Go ahead and straighten out first one leg and then the other. And then lift up to our staff pose. Sitting up nice and tall, straight back. Picture that string from the crown of your head pulling you straight up. Flex those toes up, feeling the heels pull up off of the earth. And then relaxing, we're going to fold forward, gently letting gravity pull us towards our legs. And with each exhale, try to just relax into the posture a little bit more. Inhaling up, we'll pull the right leg in with us. Let it cross over. Hugging that leg in. We'll wrap the left arm around the leg. Right hand comes behind so that we keep a nice straight back and look over that right shoulder. And as we come to the front, we're going to open up that right leg, feeling that stretch. So with that right arm, go ahead and press into the thigh. Let the left hand come to the side here. Now you can stay here and just have that stretch with the hip and the inner leg here, or you can have that right hand reaching underneath and the left hand can reach behind your back. See if you can go into a little bit of a side stretch here. And if you can interlace the hands, let those fingers touch behind you. Go ahead and release the bind if you have that. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll bring that leg back in and let it come back into our staff pose. Folding gently forward. Roll back up to a seated position, pulling the left leg in this time. Let it cross over. Hug that leg in with our right arm, and we're gonna twist looking over our left shoulder. Gentle spinal twist to wake up our back here. Release and come to the front. We'll gently take that left leg and open it up to the side. Again, the left arm will be in front to help open that up nice. So you feel that in your hip. You feel that wherever your body feels that. I won't tell you that. And again, if this feels good enough, you're already feeling a lot, and if you just want to stop here, you can. If you'd like to go into the bind, the left hand will reach under and the right hand will reach behind. See if you can grab the fingers behind your back and keep those shoulders open.
Halfway point reach.
Release our bind, and sitting up nice and tall, we'll help that leg forward again, and let's swing both legs underneath us, coming to our tabletop. So we're coming to all fours, making sure our knees are in line with our hips, hip distance apart, wrists are in line with our shoulders, fingers are spread out nice and wide. Protect our wrist. Keep our shoulders active. Don't let us sink in here. And keep our bellies pulled in. Go ahead and start with our cat-cow breaths. If you're already familiar with it, just go ahead and get right into it. Our cow breath, as we inhale, we drop our belly and we look forward, our chest opening up. And as we exhale, we tuck in the tailbone, tuck in the chin, arching that back up into our cat pose. And you just gently go back and forth between the two breaths and the postures. But listen to your body. If you need some extra time in one of them compared to the other, do that. If you want a little bit of extra movement, you can do that. Make this your own journey. Go ahead and finish one more set, and we'll meet in a neutral spine. Let those toes touch, knees as wide as our mat. The hips sink back to our heels, stretching those hands in front of us, sinking to our mat in an active child's pose. If this is too much on your back or shoulders today, go ahead and pull those arms in, and you can rest on your hands. Rolling back up to our tabletop, we'll keep our knees wider than our heels here. Plant the left hand, and if you can reach that right hand up to the sky, make sure that we open up our shoulders here. And if you can look up as well. Now, if this is too much, you can always bring that right hand down to your hip. Right hand is going to thread the needle under the left arm until we come to that right shoulder. Resting on the shoulder, our right cheek is on the mat. And we're going to start by reaching that left hand to the top of our mat. And I know we've done this before. If you want to go into the bind, this left hand is going to reach around our back and see if you can find the inside of that right thigh. You're going to feel some more movement in your spine, in your shoulder. Release. We're going to press back up to tabletop. This time our right hand will stay planted and the left hand will reach up. Every time we twist, we're helping our body to detox. That's a good thing. That left hand's gonna thread the needle under the right, resting onto our left shoulder. Right hand reaches to the top of our mat. And if you want to do the bind again, the right hand will reach around, finding the inside of the left thigh. And we will release. As we come back into posture here, we're going to just come to our forearms instead of pressing all the way up. We're going to try to align our shoulders right here so that we have our shoulders in line with our elbows, you know, those other bendy parts of our arm there. And now we're going to go ahead and bring our knees in. And then we're going to, one at a time here, straighten out our legs. We're going to go straight into a low plank. Now we've been working on activating our shoulders. That's what's really important here. And also keeping our bellies nice and tight. Breathe. And we'll go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and lower it down to your mat. We're going to slide those hands so they're underneath our shoulders. Tucking the chin, we'll lift up to a cobra. Maybe only go a little bit off the mat this time. We'll start with a low cobra. Make sure those elbows are pressed in and the shoulders are down. And when you get to where we feel is high enough this first time, look forward and really notice how your spine feels. We want to make sure that that spine is able to stay nice and lengthened the whole time. So we're going to exhale and we'll sink back down to the mat. And we're going to inhale back up again. Go up a little higher and make sure you're still keeping that long spine feeling. If you start to feel it compressing in the lower spine, you might need to come back down a little bit. And go ahead and exhale back down. And we'll do one last one. Inhale up. Exhale down. Pressing up, we'll come to our tabletop position. Tucking the toes under. We're gonna lift our hips up to downward facing dog. Go ahead and press one heel in at a time, walking that dog out and finding your posture. Keep your eyes in between your feet so that your ears can feel those arms. Tilt the pelvis forward a little bit so that you have that straight line from your wrist up to your tailbone. And press those heels into your mat, and your legs will start to straighten on their own. We'll get a little closer each time. And let's go ahead and walk our feet up to our hands, coming to a forward fold. Knees bent this first time. Just gently rest our chest on our thighs and hang out for a moment. And bend knees deeply as we roll up to a mountain pose, one vertebrae at a time. Your head will be the last thing that comes up. Energy flowing down our backs, so we make sure our tailbones are tucked under. Make sure all four corners of our feet have equal weight. That our thighs are engaged and lifting up off of our knees. Our tummies are pulled in. That's our core. Keep our core activated. Our shoulders are pressed down and back. And that our neck is in alignment with our spine. We find a lot of times that we end up forward throughout the day, so make sure that we give it a little pull back here. Inhale our hands up. Exhale forward into a forward fold. Step back first with your right foot and then your left into a downward facing dog. Lower your hips to a plank and exhale as you lower down to the mat. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale down to the mat. Pressing up through your plank. We're going to lift our hips back up, downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply, look to the top of your mat, and make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold.
You can do it.
Inhale, root to rise. And bring our hands to our heart center. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to downward facing dog. Left foot first, then our right. Lowering our hips to plank. Exhale as you lower to your mat. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale back down to the mat. Press through your plank. Lift those hips, downward facing dog. Bend both knees. Look to the top of your mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. And bring our hands to our heart center. A little sun salutation to get us warmed up and ready to go. let's go. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's step back to our downward facing dog. Shift our weight to our left foot. Lift that right foot in a three-legged dog. Draw that knee into our chest. First to the left, to the right elbow, left knee, right elbow. Go back up to our three-legged dog. Left knee to the right elbow. Three-legged dog. Left to, I'm sorry, I'm saying left. Right to left, so we're going opposites here. And now we're gonna try to straighten that leg out. So if you keep it suspended, you can. If we're gonna lower the leg down to the earth, that's good as well. So go ahead and lower the leg if you do have it lifted. And we're gonna give it a try to lift that left hand open. Left hand down. Bring that leg back through. Downward facing dog. Let's walk the hands back. Totally messed up left and rights there, I'm sorry. Inhale, root to rise. Hands to your heart center. You do your mirroring, and I always say I can't tell left from right anymore. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Walk our hands back out to our downward facing dog. Shifting our weight to our right foot, left foot raises. So we're crossing first, same, and then crossing. So now it is the left leg. And we're gonna take the left leg to the right elbow, and up, left to left, and up, and cross it over. Straighten that leg, see if you can hold it out for a moment. And go ahead and let it lower. And then see if you can raise that right arm. If you can't, that's okay. Lower the right arm. Bring the left foot back. Downward facing dog. Let's lower those hips. Lower to your mat in our vinyasa flow. Inhale up to a cobra. Exhale back down. Inhale through your plank. Lift those hips. Downward facing dog. Bend both knees deeply. Look to the top of your mat. Make your way there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Hands to our heart center. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to downward facing dog. Shift our weight to our left foot. Lift the right, three-legged dog. So let's try this right now. Right to left. Three-legged dog. Right to right. Three-legged dog. Right to left. Straighten the leg. We're gonna go ahead and lift that arm. Arm back down. Bring the leg back through, lifting it to our three-legged dog. And bring it all the way through so that we can lift up to a warrior two. So warrior two, make sure our bodies are right down the center. Make sure the knee is not turned in, that it's not over the ankle, and that both arms are equal, and we're looking over the front hand. Gonna drop our left hand, raising that right, going into our back space for our reverse warrior. Back through warrior two. We're going to do an extended side angle so that right forearm rests on the right thigh. Left hand reaches up and over. And you can stay here. This is already a lot. You can go ahead and lower that right hand down to the mat if you want. Or if you want to practice the bind we did at the beginning of our practice. Let's see if I can do this right. So that left hand is coming back around us. The right hand reaches up and around. Release our hands. Twist into a low lunge. We're going to bring that right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Almost there. Just repeat this on the other side and we get to go to our cool down. Shift our weight to our right foot. Left foot raises, three-legged dog. Left to right. Three-legged dog. Left to left. Three-legged dog. Left to right. Straighten that leg. Lift the right hand. Right hand down. Bring that left foot in. Three-legged dog. Draw that knee into your chest as you swing that foot all the way through, coming up to a warrior two. Right hand down, left hand up, reverse warrior. Down to an extended side angle. Rest that forearm on the thigh. Reach up and over with the right hand. If you want to try any of the variations, now's the time to do that. Cartwheel our hands down to a low lunge. Last vinyasa flow. So left foot comes back to the right in a plank. Lower down to your mat with an exhale. Inhale up to your cobra. Watch those shoulders. Exhale down to your mat. Inhale through your plank. Lift those hips. Downward facing dog. Drop our knees, tabletop position. Keeping our body in this position, so we're not going to change anything with our tabletop. We're going to press into the tops of our feet and go into a hovering cat. So press into the tops, just our knees come off a few inches. The hips sink back to the heels. This time we'll bring our arms down alongside us, letting our foreheads come to our mat in a resting child's pose. sitting up from here. We're going to go ahead and swing our legs around, come to a seated position. Arms out, roll down to your mat. Hands down to your belly. Walk in first one foot and then the other, so both of our knees are bent. You can make sure that the lower back is pressing into the mat. So we have a little pelvic tilt going on here. We're gonna, keeping the legs bent, we'll lift first one leg off of the mat. So we have that nice 90-degree angle with our thigh to our torso. Same thing with the other leg. That's when our back wants to pull up. So press that in. Really work on pressing that pelvic tilt to keep that lower back in. We're going to cross our ankles. And we're going to take our right hand to our left shoulder, left to right. So we're giving ourselves a little hug. Did an amazing job. This was a tough one today. And we're going to do a little crunch here. So we're going to bring our elbows towards our knees. Bring our knees in towards our elbows. And release. And again, we're going to do 10 of these. You can go at your own pace. Once you've done your 10, reach down with those hands with the feet still crossed. Right hand to left foot, left hand to right foot. And give yourselves a little rock back and forth. Straighten the legs out. We'll let that left foot come down. Right foot's going to rest onto the thigh or the top of the knee there of the left. Let both hands come out to your sides in a big T, a big cross here. And we're going to let both legs fall towards the left. Make sure shoulders stay anchored to the earth. And if it feels good, you're going to look over to the right. Let's bring our head up first, and then we'll draw the legs up. Let the right foot come down. Pull the left leg up, let it rest onto the top of that right thigh. And then both legs can fall over towards the right. Again, if it feels good, look over your left shoulder. Straighten the head, lift both legs, drop the left foot down. We'll bring both arms down alongside our body. Walk those feet in as close as you can to your sits bones. And we'll once again start with the pelvic tilt and then lift that pelvis up off of the earth, lifting one vertebrae up at a time, coming into a supported bridge. And we'll lower down, again, one vertebrae at a time. Straightening first one leg, and then the other. We're coming into the Shavasana portion of our practice. This is the hardest pose to actually master, but the most important part of the practice. We'll begin with a body scan where you go through every major muscle group trying to come to a complete relaxation and stillness and quiet in your body and in your mind. Once we've gone through the body scan, go ahead and give yourselves 2 or 3 minutes of just stillness before you end your practice. So let's start with our toes. Relaxing all the way through the feet. Feel the relaxation climbing up the legs. Into the hips. With every breath, feel yourself being cleansed. Feel yourself growing heavier into the earth. Relax the hands. Tension left then in the arms. Like you're pulling a warm blanket up your body. Feel that warmth creep up into the shoulders. And into the neck. Release the jaw. And finally, the muscles in the face. Pushing all of the tension and stress out of the crown of our heads.